fellas, lady fellas, Entrepreneurial Society, welcome to the Fantasy in Reality Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Spencer Tacker. Today in the ridiculously over-decorated studio, we're going to be going over Thursday night football preview. So for this Thursday night's game, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to go meet the Carolina Panthers. Now, this is an important game for both teams because they're both 0-1, but it makes it more important because they're in the same division, so this is their first divisional game of the season. Now, last week, Carolina almost won. Don't call it a comeback because it wasn't. They lost to the Rams 30-27. And the 49ers seem to have a handle on the Bucs in week 1. The Bucs were handed a 31-17 disappointing loss. Neither quarterback looked good in either one of the games. Cam's foot seemed to have been bothering him, which could be a reason to why he did not rush very much in the first game. His performance could reflect poorly onto his teammates if he doesn't have a comeback game in week 2. But I would start Cam Newton this Thursday against the less than fantastic Buccaneers defense. If his foot is no longer bothering him, he could see an increase in production and have more positivity in the run game. Jameis Winston looks similar, but a bit more terrible. He's being dropped like crazy in most leagues. He could be a buy low candidate with minimal risk if you already have a starting quarterback on your roster. But as for this week and further into the future, until Bruce Arians can hone Jameis down into his own zone, he'll be a sit for me. Christian McCaffrey looked amazing like he always does. I would expect his production to be similar in this game as it was to week 1. I think he's going to go off on the Bucs. He's a no question must start. Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones have a fair amount of carries. One of these guys should see a bigger workload this week. Week 2 could be the time in which we see which one of these guys is going to be that number 1. As you know, I'm not a fan of the muddied up backfields such as this one. So this one in particular, I'm totally trying to avoid at all costs. Both Tampa Bay running backs will be a major sit for me, but if you had to and you were desperate to start one of them, I would probably have to go with Barber. Moving on to receivers, DJ Moore saw double-digit targets in the loss to the Rams. He could possibly see another 10-plus targets in this not-so-good Tampa Bay defense. More opportunity hopefully leads to more production. Curtis Samuel didn't see very many targets thrown his way. This could be due to Cam's injury and Christian McCaffrey being so dominant. Although I don't see Christian McCaffrey being any less of a beast this week, with Cam possibly coming back and being healthy, he could spread the ball around a lot more and not have to rely on his guy in the backfield. Mike Evans had a bit of a disappointing week 1 performance, but what most people didn't know was that he was battling with some kind of illness. If he comes into week 2 full health, then you should see the real Mike Evans come back. Chris Godwin only had 3 catches last week, but one of those he took to the house, which helped his numbers not look so dreadful. With a healthy Mike Evans on the opposite side of the field, Chris Godwin could see a significant amount of one-on-one coverages. This could lead to some long bombs being thrown to Godwin if the defense is spread it thin. All 4 of these wide receivers are a start for me. Be cautious with Mike Evans' health issues and his illness, and monitor him before Thursday's game begins. Also, be wary of DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. If Cam's foot is still bothering him, then we could very well see a similar performance from last week where he had to rely on Christian McCaffrey basically the entire game. He wasn't very mobile, and he didn't spread the ball around a lot, which directly impacts DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel's fantasy numbers. As for tight ends, Greg Olsen had some kind of injury in week 1. This could limit him or even put him out of the game entirely. This could be good news for Curtis Samuel owners because in week 1, Greg Olsen out-targeted Curtis Samuel 9-4. So if Greg Olsen is not a factor on the offensive side, then Curtis Samuel could see an increase in targets. And with that being said, Greg Olsen would obviously be a sit for me. As for the opponent, we still have the abysmal performance of O.J. Howard waking us up at night. He only had 4 receptions in week 1. This could be a direct effect of Jameis' poor performance. Howard will be on the field for a large portion of the snap count. He could see an increase in targets if Jameis actually starts throwing the ball well. So O.J. Howard would be a start for me. I'm excited to see him just like most of the guys on both sides of the field. I'm thinking that it's going to be a good game, especially division rivals. Everything like that brings out better competition. So neither of these teams had very good week ones, but I feel that especially in prime time, they're going to bring out the best in themselves and each other, and hopefully it's going to be a fantastic game. As for kickers and defenses, I would start the Panthers defense against that struggling Jameis Winston offense, and I would bench the Bucks D and both kickers. But that was a brief breakdown of the Thursday night football game. It's the opening game of week 2, and hopefully it's an exciting one because, like I said, it's a divisional game. They're going to bring out better competition in themselves and each other. So hopefully they all have better performances, an entertaining, all-around, very high-performing game. Hopefully everyone does well, shows out, especially in prime time, what they can do on that field. I'm very excited to watch the game. The defenses aren't that great. The Panthers defense is better, but if Jameis can actually perform like we know that he can and get the ball to Evans, Godwin, and Howard, then this should be a very high-scoring and entertaining game. And hopefully this is the start of week 2 that will be a much more consistent weekend of football rather than that very strange week 1 that we saw. Hopefully players that are supposed to do well, like Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs if he's healthy. Players like that who didn't have very good week 1s can bounce back and have much better games. Thursday is the start. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's a very good performance by all the players leading us into the weekend, but we'll see how that's going to go. Those are my starts and sits for the Thursday night game. Let me know who you decide to start and sit in this game. If you agreed or disagreed with my start sits, let me know down in the comment section below. But as always, thank you for tuning in and thank you for your support. Leave all your questions, topic suggestions, comments down there in the comment section below. We'll try to answer any and all questions that you have. And remember that sports are supposed to be enjoyed together, so please watch us, tell someone about us. We're trying so hard to spread the word to as many people literally as we can reach. And in order to try to grow the community, you gotta smash the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so we can keep giving you as much content as we can. But we'll leave you with God bless America and God bless fantasy football. Take care.